is Mia. I am 28 years old. This is my story. It is not an easy story to tell, but I want to share it. Maybe it will help someone else. I believe that telling our stories makes us stronger. My life used to feel like a happy song. I had a good job in a small flower shop. I love flowers. Their colors, their smells. They make people happy. I lived in a cozy apartment. The sun woke me up in the morning. Life was simple, and I was happy. Then I met Leo. He came into the flower shop one day. He wasn't buying flowers for anyone. He just came in to look. He said the flowers made him feel calm. He had kind eyes, a very gentle smile. We started talking. It was easy to talk to him. He was funny. He made me laugh. That first day, he stayed for almost an hour, just talking to me. When he left, I felt a happy flutter in my chest. He came back the next day, and the day after that. Soon, it was our routine. He would visit me at work. We would talk about everything: books, movies, our dreams. He told me he was a graphic designer. He worked from home. He loved creating things on his computer. I told him about my dream to have my own big flower garden one day. He listened. He really listened. He made me feel seen. He asked me out on a date. We went for a walk in a big park. It was a perfect autumn day. The leaves were orange and yellow. We bought hot chocolate. We sat on a bench. We talked for hours. It felt like I had known him forever. I fell in love with him very quickly. He said he fell in love with me too. The happy song in my life became even happier. Leo was very close to his mother. He told me that on our first date. His father passed away many years ago. So, it was just him and his mother, Alina. He talked about her all the time. "My mother makes the best lasagna," he would say. Or, "My mother taught me how to be kind." I thought it was sweet. A man who loves his mother is a good man. I thought it was a wonderful thing. I was not wrong about that. A man should love his mother. But I was wrong about what it meant for me. For us. I met Alina after a few weeks. Leo was very excited for us to meet. We went to her house for dinner. She lived in a small, very clean house just outside the city. She opened the door with a big smile. She hugged me warmly. "Mia, it is so wonderful to finally meet you," she said. "Leo has told me so much about you." She was charming. She was beautiful. She looked a lot like Leo. She had the same kind eyes. The dinner was delicious. Just like Leo said, she asked me many questions about my life, my family, my job. She seemed genuinely interested. I liked her. I felt relieved. I wanted his mother to like me, and she seemed to. The evening was lovely. Leo was so happy watching us talk. He held my hand under the table. I felt like I was part of a family. But there was one small thing that evening. It was a tiny thing, so small that I ignored it. We were talking about movies. I said my favorite movie was a romantic comedy. Alina laughed a little. "Oh, those silly movies," she said. "Leo doesn't like them. He likes serious films, documentaries, things that make you think. Leo, who had just told me last week that he loved that same romantic comedy, suddenly nodded. Yes, Mom is right, he said. Those comedies are okay, but I prefer serious movies. I looked at him, confused. He didn't look at me. He just smiled at his mother. My heart felt a little strange, but I let it go. It was nothing, just a small thing. Our relationship grew. We spent all our free time together. After a year, we decided to move in together. It was a big step. I was so excited. We found a beautiful apartment. It had big windows, a small balcony for my flowers. We would build a life together, a home. The problems started there, in our new home. But they started slowly, like a small crack in a wall. At first, you don't see it. Then, over time, it gets bigger and bigger until the whole wall is weak. We needed to paint the apartment. I wanted to paint the living room a warm, sunny yellow. It was a happy color. I showed Leo a picture. I love it, Mia, he said. It's perfect. It feels like you. I was so happy. We bought the paint. We were ready to start on Saturday. On Friday evening, Alina came to see our new apartment. She walked through the rooms. She smiled. It's a nice space, she said. Then she saw the cans of yellow paint. Her smile faded a little. Yellow, she said. It's a very bright color. A bit childish, maybe. A soft gray or beige is more elegant, more grown up. I felt my cheeks get hot. I like yellow, I said softly. It's cheerful. Alina just smiled at Leo. A soft, knowing smile. She didn't say anything more. She didn't need to. The next morning, Saturday, I woke up excited to paint. Leo was in the kitchen making coffee. He looked worried. Mia, he started. I was thinking about the paint. Yes, I said, smiling. I think my mom is right, he said, not looking at me. Yellow is maybe too much. It might look bad. Gray is safer. It's more classic. I stared at him. I couldn't believe it. But yesterday you loved yellow, I said. You said it was perfect. Well, I've thought about it more, he said, his voice a little sharp. My mother has good taste. She knows about these things. Let's just go with gray. It's better. I didn't know what to say. I felt so small. My opinion, my choice, it just disappeared. It didn't matter. He didn't say, let's talk about it. He said, let's just go with gray. It was decided. We painted the living room a dull, boring gray. Every time I looked at that wall, my heart felt a little bit heavy. It wasn't our wall. It was her wall. That was the first big crack. The cracks kept coming. They were everywhere. Little comments, little choices. They all added up. Alina visited our apartment often. She had a key. Leo gave it to her. In case of emergencies, he said. She would come in when I was alone. She would walk around, touching things. This cushion doesn't match the sofa, dear, she might say. She would open my kitchen cupboards. Leo needs to eat more vegetables, Mia. You should buy more broccoli. She would even rearrange my flowers in their vases. "This looks much better," she would declare. I tried to be polite. I smiled. I said, "Thank you for the suggestion." But inside, I was screaming. This was my home too, mine and Leo's. But it felt like it was her home, and I was just living in it. I tried to talk to Leo about it. One evening, after a particularly bad visit from Alina, I was upset. She had reorganized my whole bookshelf while I was at work. "Leo," I said, my voice shaking a little, "can you please ask your mother not to rearrange our things? And maybe to call before she comes over?" Leo sighed. He looked annoyed. "Mia, she is just trying to help," he said. "She loves us. She wants our home to be perfect. You're being too sensitive." Too sensitive. Those words felt like a slap. My feelings were wrong. I was the problem, not her behavior, not his refusal to stand up for me. I went to bed that night feeling deeply alone. I was lying next to the man I loved, but I felt like he was a million miles away. He was on her side, always on her side. We planned a vacation, our first real trip together. We were going to the beach for a whole week. I was so excited. I bought a new swimsuit. I imagined us walking on the sand, holding hands. No work, no city noise, no Alina, just us. 2 days before our trip, Leo's phone rang. It was his mother. He walked into the other room to talk. He was gone for a long time. When he came back, his face was serious. My heart sank. I knew. I just knew. "That was Mom," he said. "Is everything okay?" I asked, already knowing the answer. "She's not feeling well," he said. "Just a small cold. But she feels very weak and lonely. I don't think we should go on our trip, Mia. I need to be here for her." I couldn't believe my ears. "A small cold?" I asked. "Leo, we've been planning this for months. Your mom has friends. She has neighbors. She will be okay for a week." His face became hard. "She's my mother, Mia. She doesn't have anyone else, not really. She needs me. How can you be so selfish? Thinking about a vacation when my mother is sick. Selfish. There was that word again. I was selfish for wanting to go on a trip with my partner. I was selfish for wanting time alone with him. I started to cry. I couldn't help it. "But what about us, Leo?" I sobbed. "What about me?" "Family comes first," he said coldly. "And my mother is my family." He didn't say, "You are my family too." He didn't say, "Let's find a solution." He just decided. We didn't go to the beach. I unpacked my swimsuit with a heavy heart. Leo spent the entire week at his mother's house. He would come home late at night to sleep. He brought her soup. He watched movies with her. He fixed things around her house. I stayed in our gray apartment, alone. That week, the happy song in my life went silent. Life became a painful pattern. Alina was always first. No matter what, my birthday came. I planned a special dinner for just the two of us. I cooked his favorite meal. I lit candles. I wanted it to be romantic, a chance to reconnect. He called me an hour after he was supposed to be home. I'm so sorry, Mia. I'm going to be late. I'm at my mom's house. Her sink is leaking. I have to fix it. Can't she call a plumber, Leo? I asked, my voice flat. Why pay a plumber when I can do it? I'll be there as soon as I can, he said, and hung up. He arrived 3 hours later. The food was cold. The candles had burned down. My happy mood was gone. He walked in, holding a cake box. Look, he said, smiling. Mom felt so bad about my being late. She baked you your favorite cake to apologize. I looked at the cake. It felt like a symbol of everything that was wrong. Even on my birthday, she was there, in the middle of us. I didn't want the cake. I wanted my partner. I wanted to be his priority, just for one night. But I wasn't. I was never the priority. The final crack. The one that broke the wall completely. It was about our future. We had been talking about getting married. It was a dream we both had. We started saving money for a small wedding and for a down payment on a small house. A house with a garden for me. It was our dream. Our secret hope. One day, Leo came home. He looked excited. I have amazing news, Mia, he said. I felt a spark of hope. What is it? I was talking to Mom, and she has the most wonderful idea. She is going to sell her house, and we can all buy a bigger house together. She will use the money from her house, plus our savings. We can get a beautiful place with a big garden. She can live with us. She can help with the cooking, the cleaning, maybe with future children. Isn't it a perfect plan? He looked at me with his kind eyes. The same eyes I fell in love with. But now they looked different. He didn't see me. He saw his perfect plan, his plan with his mother. I felt the floor disappear from under my feet. Live with her, in her house, bought with her money. I would never have a home. I would be a guest in her house forever. I would have no say, no voice. My life would not be my own. I looked at him, and for the first time, I saw everything clearly. The paint color, the canceled trip, the birthday dinner. It was all part of the same story. A story where I was always second. A story where my feelings didn't matter. A story where our life together was not really ours. It was his and his mother's. And I was just there. My voice was quiet, but it was strong. No, Leo, I said. His smile vanished. No, what do you mean, no? It's a perfect plan. It's a perfect plan for you and your mother, I said. Tears started to stream down my face, but my voice didn't shake. Where am I in this plan, Leo? Where is our life? The life we were supposed to build together. Just you and me. He looked confused, genuinely confused. But she would be helping us, don't you see? She is giving us her money. She is giving us a home. She is taking over our life, I said. She has been taking it over for a long time. And you let her. You always let her. You always choose her. Her opinion, her feelings, her needs. They always come before me. Always. He became angry then. That's not true. You're just jealous of my mother. You're trying to make me choose between you. I'm not asking you to choose between us, I said, my heart breaking with every word. I am asking you to choose our relationship, to make us a priority, to build a wall around us, a safe place for our love to grow. But you can't. Your mother is always inside that wall with us, and there isn't enough room for me too. We stood there in our gray living room, the room she had chosen. The silence was heavy, filled with 2 years of unspoken pain. I can't abandon my mother, he finally said, his voice low. She needs me. I will not turn my back on her. I know, I whispered, and I would never ask you to. But I need a partner, not a son who can't leave his mother. I need someone who will build a life with me, not in his mother's house. The truth was there, naked and painful. He couldn't give me what I needed. He couldn't put me first, because he had already given that place to someone else. He had chosen his mother over me 1,000 times, and he would keep choosing her. Leaving was the hardest thing I have ever done. I packed my bags that night. My hands were shaking. My heart felt like it was being ripped out of my chest. I loved him. I still loved him. But I knew deep in my soul that I could not stay. Staying meant losing myself completely. It meant a lifetime of being second. A lifetime of feeling invisible. I moved into a tiny apartment on the other side of town. It was small and empty. The first few months were a blur of sadness. I cried a lot. I missed him. I missed the man I thought he was. I missed our happy song. Some days, the loneliness felt like a heavy blanket. I felt broken. But slowly, very slowly, things started to change. I painted my new living room a bright, sunny yellow. It was my choice. It made me happy every time I saw it. I filled my small balcony with flowers. I started reading more. I reconnected with old friends. They listened. They supported me. They reminded me of who I was before Leo. I focused on my work at the flower shop. I worked hard. My boss noticed. She gave me more responsibility. I started learning about the business side of things. The idea of my own garden, my own shop, didn't feel like a distant dream anymore. It felt like a possibility, a goal. Healing is not a straight line. There were days I felt angry, days I felt sad, days I doubted my decision. But then I would remember the feeling of being invisible, the feeling of my voice not being heard. And I knew I had done the right thing. I learned something very important. Love is not supposed to make you feel small. It's supposed to help you grow. A partner should be your biggest supporter, not your biggest obstacle. And you cannot build a life with someone who is already in a partnership with their parent. My life is quiet now, but it is a peaceful quiet. I am learning to enjoy my own company. I am rediscovering myself. Mia, the woman who loves yellow, the woman who dreams of a garden. I am building a life that is truly mine. I am becoming my own priority. I am putting myself first. If you are listening to my story, maybe you feel stuck. Maybe you feel like you are always second. Please know this. You are not alone. It is okay to feel hurt and confused, but you deserve to be seen. You deserve to be heard. You deserve to be cherished. Choosing yourself is not selfish. It is the most important choice you will ever make. It is hard. It is painful. But it is the first step back to yourself, back to your own happy song. You can do it. Keep going. You are worth it.